With the release of Multicam version 1.4, we now have the ability to do sound, audio, settings inside the Mevo Multicam app. So we can now do the crash course for Mevo Multicam sound version. Let's get started. Looking into how we add devices, we'll hit the blue icon at the bottom left of the screen in Multicam. And we now see there is a new option. This new option is audio. It's at the bottom here, and you can go into audio, and now you have the ability to add audio input sources through this menu. New to 1.4 is the ability to add the control device as one of your input sources in Multicam. You also have the ability to add a device that's running the Mevo Mic app connected to the same network as your control device, and it will show up as another microphone. So when I open the Mevo Mic app on my Galaxy Tab A7, you can see it pops up as one of the choices in this area of the settings. I can toggle on that particular input, and all of a sudden I'm gaining an input that I see show up on my control sliders over here on the right hand side of the screen. There is my Galaxy Tab A7 that I have individual control over. The other area that we have audio controls in the 1.4 app are through our individual input sliders. On this side of the screen, I see that I have camera 3 and camera 2, and there is a control wheel, a settings icon for each of those. So when I tap on the settings icon, I see some things that are familiar to me. I see some internal mic audio processing presets like I did in the single cam app, so that I can set each camera's microphone to be general music, speech, or wind. All can be handled inside the Mevo Multicam app. Now, no need to go back into the single cam app in order to make these changes. Also have the choice of making auto gain control, toggle on or off, and the ability to force internal microphones. The subtext there says we will override 3.5 millimeter auto detection. So it looks to be that we have the ability to auto detect or not auto detect that 3.5 millimeter input. Let's add another microphone to one of our cameras, and we'll begin to see just what we have added. I'll be using the Deity D4 Duo to show you what it's like to add this microphone in. So if I take camera 2 and I plug the Deity D4 Duo into the back of the start through the 3.5 millimeter jack, then camera 2 now gave me a little bit different icon here on my slider. So it's telling me that now I can have line level or mic level internal mic processing and still have the ability to force internal mics. I no longer have those presets for the different kinds of audio processing, general speech, wind, and whatever the other one was. It changes to line level or mic level processing. And then tapping on the force internal mics toggle gives us the knowledge that we are now back on the internal microphone built into the camera. It is no longer recognizing that you have a 3.5 millimeter microphone plugged into the jack on the back of the start. We'll plug this same microphone into the USB-C port. I'll run an adapter, obviously, from the Deity D4 Duo. We have to adapt it to get to the USB-C input there. But as I plug in the USB-C, it will now give us a whole nother slide. So the internal microphone for the camera 2 that we're dealing with is still active. So the internal microphone is still on. But now we also have the Deity D4 Duo, as indicated by the USB logo or icon here next to camera 2. We now have the ability to control just that microphone separately from the internal microphone. So if I tap on that settings wheel, that settings icon, I can see that I have the ability to run mono audio, which combines audio channels, or not. And that's the only change I can make, but it does give me its own mute switch. It does give me its own gain slider as well. The last place I'll point you to for audio control in the 1.4 Mevo Multicam app is in each individual Mevo settings. So at the ellipsis on the individual camera, going into Mevo settings, the only other place we have the ability to control anything with audio is whether we power external USB devices, and that has to be toggled on if we're going to adapt to use the USB-C port, because these little microphones do require just a little bit of power in order to function. When you plug into the back of the 3.5 millimeter jack, that power is provided, but you have to have this toggle on for the USB port to send power to it.